Ever wondered what secrets an old family home might be hiding? For a man named Fouad, one cold December night would reveal something far more terrifying than forgotten memories. He decided to spend the night at an old house he'd inherited from his grandfather, a place tucked away on the outskirts of a remote village. It had been years since his last visit, and he expected the house to be filled with the warmth of happy childhood moments. Eerie was run. Fouad arrived as dusk settled, the last light of day, casting long skeletal shadows across the property. The moment he stepped inside, the air felt different, heavy and strange. The lights flickered with a dim, uncertain glow, and the old wooden floors groaned under his weight, each creak echoing through the silent rooms. He made his way to the living room, dropped his bag, and managed to coax a small fire to life in the dusty fireplace. He tried to settle in, to embrace the quiet solitude, but a persistent, creeping unease settled over him, clinging to the atmosphere like a shroud. He couldn't shake the feeling that he wasn't alone. The clock struck 10, and that's when the real nightmare began. Faint noises started drifting down from the upper floor. At first, Fouad dismissed them as the house settling, or perhaps his mind playing tricks on him in the unfamiliar silence. But the sounds didn't stop. They grew louder, more distinct. He could hear heavy, deliberate footsteps pacing back and forth, right above his head. Then came a loud thud, as if something substantial had been dropped or thrown to the floor. The sound jolted him. His imagination couldn't be that vivid. Curiosity, mixed with a healthy dose of fear, got the better of him. He had to know what was going on. Taking a deep breath, Fouad decided to investigate. He grabbed a small flashlight from his bag and slowly made his way to the base of the staircase. The steps leading up were swallowed by darkness. As he began to climb, the entire house seemed to plunge into an even deeper blackness. The only light was a weak, silvery sliver from a small, grimy window at the far end of the upstairs hall. Each step he took was agonizingly slow, the wood beneath his feet protesting with loud, drawn-out creaks that seemed to announce his presence to whatever was waiting above. Halfway down the upstairs hallway, he stopped dead. Something was blocking his path. It was a solid, heavy presence he could feel before he could properly see it. He lifted his flashlight, his hand trembling, and the narrow beam cut through the darkness. Standing at the edge of the stairs, where the hallway began, was a figure. It was tall, shaped like a man, but completely cloaked in shadow, a silhouette so dense it seemed to absorb the light around it. Its head was tilted at an unnatural, twisted angle, giving it the grotesque appearance of a broken doll or a tormented spirit. Fouad was pure, primal fear rooted him to the spot. He tried to scream, to make any sound at all, but his throat was tight, and only a choked gasp escaped his lips. His heart hammered against his ribs, a frantic drumbeat in the suffocating silence. Then, the dark figure began to move. It glided towards him, slowly, deliberately, its movements unnervingly smooth. With every inch it closed the distance, the air grew colder, and a wave of pure panic washed over Fouad. It felt as if time itself had frozen, trapping him in this single, horrifying moment. He was staring into the face of something not of this world. Just as the figure was about to reach him, close enough that he could feel an icy chill radiating from it, it vanished. One moment, it was there, a solid wall of darkness, and the next, it was gone, dissolving into thin air as if it had never existed. The release from his paralysis was instantaneous. Terror propelled him into action. He spun around and scrambled back down the stairs, his feet barely touching the steps. But the horror wasn't over. As he descended, he heard a loud, heavy crash behind him. He risked a glance over his shoulder and saw the massive wooden doors of the house slamming shut on their own, the sound echoing like a gunshot. The air inside the house instantly became thick and oppressive, pressing down on him from all sides, making it hard to breathe. It felt like the very walls were closing in. He didn't stop. He fumbled with the lock on the front door, his fingers clumsy with fear, and burst out into the night. Outside, the wind howled with a violent, new intensity, whipping the trees into a frenzy. As he sprinted away from the house, putting as much distance as he could between himself and that place, he felt the suffocating darkness that had enveloped him begin to lift. But even as he ran, the chilling sensation of being watched, of something dark and malevolent chasing him through the night, lingered. Fouad never went back. He never dared to set foot on that property again. The house still stands there, silent and waiting on the edge of the village, holding its secrets. He was left with a question that would haunt him for the rest of his life. Was it all just a terrifying vision brought on by an old house and an overactive imagination? Or was there truly something ancient and evil living within those walls, waiting for its next visitor? Some questions, perhaps, are better left unanswered. What do you think? Have you ever had an experience you just can't explain? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next dive into the unknown. Thanks for watching.